Ah, shit. This episode of the BRG podcast has been brought to you by our patrons. Here at BRG, we'd like to thank those patrons who have subscribed and donated. It is because of generosity like yours that makes this show possible.
On this premiere episode of Inside the Gaming Mind, we interview Kirrok from KirrokCraft and get to know him inside and out.
Shut up and sit down.
Hello and welcome to a new episode, a new series for Ball Rocket Gaming. This is actually going to be Inside the Gamer Mind, as the intro might have implied. And what this is going to be is actually an opportunity for me to sit down with gamers from not only the BRG community, but from people outside the community, and basically get a chance to use a can opener, pop up in their head, and climb inside and get to know them a little better. Hopefully it won't be that gross, but, you know, that kind of is. Anyways, so being this is my pilot episode for the series, I'm going to apologize up front, and understand that this is going to be a little bit rough around the edges until we kind of get our sea legs, so to speak. And to help me along with that, tonight interview is going to be with Kirrok.
Hey, hello, Warped.
How's it going, my friend?
Good.
Now, from anybody who doesn't know somehow, me and Kirrok actually work together on a weekly podcast, gaming news podcast called the Ball Rocket Gaming Podcast. I know, really creative name, right? But Kirrok has guests on the show before, and then later came on the show just a little over a year ago to be my co-host. So he has graciously decided to be my guinea pig for this. So Kirrok, thank you very much for that. I do appreciate it.
Anytime, man. It's a great idea, and I love it. So I'm game.
Well, hopefully, it's a great idea. We'll see how it turns out. Anyway, so basically, guys, to give you an idea of what the format's going to be, we're going to kind of dive into questions and kind of get to know Kirrok here. And what I've done for a little bit of fun here is we're going to focus on two different halves of the whole, so to speak. And for us gamers, we really have two different identities, so to speak. We have our online identity, and then we have our real world identity. And so we're going to dive into online identity a little bit, and then later, the second half of the show, we'll kind of dive into the more personal person, the real person behind that identity. So we're going to go ahead and dive into that. Kirrok, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Let's do this.
So we're going to start at the top here. So the first and foremost, most important thing is the in-game name. So your official name is KirrokCraft.
Yes.
I have a feeling that kind of gives a hint to where this kind of developed from, because anything that's got the word craft in it.
Well, it does. No, it doesn't actually.
Oh, really?
Craft supports it in that it tells you what I like and what I was into. Still am, but not as avidly. But
and that of course is
Minecraft.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah. So and as we go through more of these questions, the picture will fill in and it'll make sense. But the word Kirrok is who I am, or is my online persona, like Neo. No. So yeah, basically where it comes from is an actual original series Star Trek episode. There is an episode where Captain Kirk beams down to a planet. Something goes wrong, bumps his head, loses consciousness, and on this planet there are like native Indian type people, like back in the
of course
old times, right? In the U.S. and they find him. They kind of care for him. He wakes up and he's lost his memory, and they're like asking him, "What's your name?" And he's like, Kir, and then they finished the word for him, and they called him Kirrok.
Gotcha.
And that's where it's from. So I kind of stole it from that show. Yeah. So the craft, I added that in on the end when I started doing YouTube and Minecraft.
Certainly.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So that's the origin. I've always been kind of curious about what that origin was.
I never told you, did I? Wow. Okay.
No, you never have.
Yeah.
Interesting. Fascinating. All right. So now I know the how you got the name. So let's ask a few questions about you. Again, this is kind of online persona, but really honestly, kind of what supports it. So first things first, what got you into gaming?
I would have to say that I think the biggest thing would be arcades back in the 80s.
Okay.
Like I remember pumping quarters into games both in Canada and in Italy because I lived in Italy for a couple of years.
Oh, really?
And yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. So basically, games like 1942, Galaga.
Yep.
What else? There was a double. No, but that was more recent. Back then it was 1942, Galaga, Pac-Man, obviously. And I recall being at a machine and just putting in Italy that was like 10 cents a game and just continuously feeding it. And I was playing 1942 and it was so good. And it wasn't just me, it was me and my brother. So we're like, playing the games. And then here they also had a Star Wars one where you actually sat down in it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a chair and it was all wireframe and stuff. And I
Yep.
thought that was the best game ever. So what hooked me on games were arcade games, video games.
Okay.
Right? Before even home consoles and things like that. So that
it's arcade that really got you hooked on gaming. Was
Yes.
there any particular game that really, like, if you look back to your roots, it's like this was the game that sucked me in and just made me who I am in terms of a gamer?
arcade wise or any game?
Just any game. It was a game that really was like the game that hooked you.
There was okay. Okay, it's a little bit of a tough question because there was something that basically I think shaped me as a gamer, but it wasn't a game that sucked me in. It was something I wanted. So I was probably 12 years old. We're with the family walking through some mall in a flea market or something, and I see two people sitting down at a table, and they were selling this, and it looked like Pong, but it was a tabletop game about yay big, right? And so all you would see is this dot going back and forth. They had a knob and they were controlling it. And yeah, so I saw that and I was like, wow, I really want that. So this wasn't the game that hooked me. So it's not actually directly answering your question. But what it did is I said to my dad, I want it. And then I don't think I had concept of money and all that stuff, right? So he was like, no, adamantly no. It's a piece of junk. What are you doing? You're just wasting money and so on. I was so pissed. I was so upset because, again, I didn't understand. I just saw what I wanted and I wanted it. And
so you got hooked on Pong.
So what ended up happening was I was so upset I made a decision then, and I remember it to this day like it was yesterday, that anytime, once I grew up and made my own cash, I would buy any game I wanted and get that game, and that's it.
Nice.
And so that's how I've been doing it. And like as soon as they announce the system, I'm out there buying it. Unless I decide ahead of time I don't like it. But any one particular game, I can't really put a finger or place a finger on that yet.
Fair enough. I tell you, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What is the most memorable game-related event in your life?
Okay. So this one I know, and this one, it always comes back to me. This was around 2003, 2004-ish. Call of Duty United Offensive. So it was an expansion to the Call of Duty game, and I think it was an expansion to the original game on computer, specifically on Mac. Mm-hmm. Okay? And
a rarity, to say the least.
Yeah, so this was back when I had my G3 laptop, and my brother had his G3 laptop, and it was back when Wi-Fi started as a thing you could buy and put in the house. Mm-hmm. And so I had an airport base station in the house. We were sitting in the summertime, 2:00 in the morning, pitch dark, in the backyard, on the picnic table, his laptop, my laptop, back to back, and we're playing Call of Duty United Offensive online wirelessly with friends and chatting with them. That was freaking awesome.
It's just so mundane now, but it was so revolutionary that I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, nobody was doing that shit. Like, no one I knew had Wi-Fi. I was like, oh, yeah, okay. I was playing outside. It was awesome. It was so good. So that I remember it as a gaming moment, but I also remember it as me and my brother. Like, he's a big gamer too. So So it was something we did together. It was so cool.
Gotcha. Interesting. All right. So here's a question for you. This is a little bit odd, but nevertheless, it's two questions here. The first one is, what game would you play in a heartbeat if there was a sequel?
Okay, so I did think about this. Here's the thing, the game it has to be a sequel, right? Because they've already made sequels to the game. In fact, there's so many games that I have in my library that they made sequels to. It's very hard to pin down a game that doesn't have a sequel, but it's a game that I really love and would play in a heartbeat if they did a remaster.
Okay.
It's Tenchu.
Okay.
The name is Tenchu Stealth Assassins.
Yep.
That game was amazing. I think it might have even come out before Metal Gear Solid.
It's an older one.
Yeah, so it was it was on PlayStation 1, and it was the first one where they really went into stealth kill, but not just stealth kill. Like you could approach an objective to kill a merchant or something like that in the village by going up on the roofs like a ninja, because you're supposed to be a ninja, nice and quiet, jumping down, killing them, and then going out, and you achieve your.
They remastered that. You're all over that
I'm
heartbeat.
there. They released sequels, and all sequels have been pretty bad. But if they remastered that one, I'm there, because that game was ultimate in music, and it was also, if you couldn't do it in stealth, you would then be facing 2 or 3 opponents at once and sword fighting them. It was amazing.
Nice. I haven't played that game, but that you make it sound interesting.
Yeah.
So to that point, though, as you said, they had some pretty bad sequels to it. Let me ask you this: what game would you unplay if you could?
Okay. It was on my 3DO.
Okay, that already sounds bad. Okay, so it's on the 3DO.
It was on the 3DO. It's a game that came out in '94, and if I could unplay it, I didn't own it. I rented it. I should never have rented it. It's called Nero Dancer.
Nero Dancer.
It was an adult game.
I don't even know what that is.
It's so bad. It is so bad. Girls would dance and strip, basically. But
wait. This was back in '94. This is well before Pornhub, so I get it now, and I know why you got it.
It was not good at all, and just a guy with a
fair enough. Okay,
a disk drive.
One more question about games, and then
Yes.
we'll move on.
Yeah.
First-person shooters,
Yes.
mouse and keyboard or controller?
Mouse and keyboard.
Thank you. Thank God you're on. Man, we would have had a rough relationship going forward in the podcast. No, don't preface it. Just.
Mouse and keyboard.
Mouse and keyboard.
If I have to choose one or the other, mouse and keyboard.
Mouse and keyboard. It is the superior way to shoot people. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. It is. All right. So let's talk a little bit about gaming systems here. So to start off with, what was the first gaming rig you had? Now you said you had a G3 laptop.
Yes.
Was that your first quote unquote gaming rig?
Okay. You could say that was my first in terms of gaming. So I had stuff like The Sims on it because they made it for Mac. I had Call of Duty because they made it for Mac.
Back when they actually made content for Macs.
Yeah, another game called Majesty, which was kind of like a sim, 3/4 view sim, which is
nothing.
It was actually
nothing before the G3.
Not that I know of in terms, but you're talking specifically a computer system, right? You're not talking about a handheld.
Consoles aren't a gaming system.
Right. Okay.
Let's just be honest here.
No, I would say that would be the first, unless you want to count my Mac 2SI, which came with Shuffle Puck Cafe. Oh
my God! Shuffle Puck Cafe!
And okay, so you could go back to that actually. That game and Monkey Island. What was that? Where they had they had the two wheels that you had to spin and match up the faces of the screen that they were showing. So they would give you the top half or the bottom half of a face, and you had a wheel that would spin around.
What is
It's
this
their
called?
Monkey Island.
Monkey
Um,
Island?
Yeah, wait, Monkey Island. What the hell was it called?
I will have to look it up sometime. But
No,
okay.
LucasArts. LucasArts.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways,
No, is it Monkey Island or Skull Island? I can't remember now.
You start out with old school Mac, old school. God, I remember Shuttlecock Cafe. That was an awesome game I played with my cousin. What do you have?
If you want to go that far.
Well, I mean, technically, that's where your first rigs you played games on. That counts. So
Yeah, okay.
what? Going from there, that was back when?
Oh, that was 93.
Holy crap.
I know it was 93 because that's when I bought the computer for college. And that's the year I graduated.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so going forward,
Yeah.
what do you have now?
Now
What's
I
your gaming
basically
rig?
have two systems. They're both PCs running Windows 8. Both are running i7s and 1070s as the graphics cards. The only difference between the two machines is one has 32 gigs and the other one has 16 gigs. So the one that has more RAM is the one I
You
use
have
for.
two gaming rigs because.
One is my virtual reality gaming rig. The other one is my streaming. It's the one I'm set up on right now. So I use that mainly for streaming, and I capture Xbox and PS4 through a capture card for when I stream.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you have basically a dedicated VR system and then dedicated. And
the gaming, yeah.
one of those your. Let's see. Okay, I'm going back. I know for a fact that you're a weirdo when it comes to capturing a video and then editing video, because you actually will capture all the content and recording on your Windows machine, but then you'll physically do all the editing on a Mac.
That's correct. I know I am a weirdo when it comes to that. So basically I use either like OBS or Shadowplay, mostly Shadowplay. The last little bit I've been experimenting more with OBS, and it's pretty good actually. And I capture the video onto an extra internal hard drive, but it's I make sure it's on a drive that's hot swappable so I can pull it out of the machine.
Yep.
And then I have a system upstairs where I have a hot swap drive into a Mac, pop it in, and now I have access to the video that I've captured. And the reason I do that is because I prefer editing in Final Cut Pro. It's what I've learned. It's what I know. It feels better. In my opinion, it works better. So that's why I go through that, jumping through hoops. I obviously PC is where it's at when it's games.
Yeah.
I can use the tools that are there for recording, and then I prefer editing on the Mac. So I figured out a way to move everything over, convert it, and then edit it, and then render it. So.
And then go back to the PC.
And then it's
so,
a couple extra steps and a lot more rendering, but yeah.
Fair enough. For your recording set, just out of curiosity, I see you got Logitech headset like I do, but what about mic?
Microphone, I have two different ones, one on this system, one on the other. The one on the other is a Shure brand. I can't remember the model, but this one is a Samsung 3UI. I can't remember either. So basically, brand-wise, one is Samsung, and this one is Samsung, and the other one is a Shure. Gotcha. And they're both great mics. Like,
fair enough.
All right. USB mics.
And what is your favorite peripheral? Mouse, keyboard, whatever. What's the favorite thing that you're just like, oh my god, I love having this thing?
I have a Logitech 502, I think, Spectrum. This machine has a G402.
Okay.
Which is basically one level down. The other one that I really, really love is the G502, if I'm not mistaken, and it has you can change the color, but it's not that I like. It's the fact that you can pop open the bottom and add weights to it to basically tune your mouse when you move it around and how you
wired
like
mic or a wired mouse.
It's a wired. Yeah, I always go wired. A
can't.
while back I went wireless and everything just kept disconnecting and batteries need charging. I was like,
Never had a
can I swear?
problem.
Can I swear on this show?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
This is
fuck this shit.
BRG. You know how we are.
So I went all back to wired on everything.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah,
So
except for headphones.
of course, because headphones don't really need to be wired, in my opinion. Anyways, so we understand who you are. We understand where your roots are. We understand the gaming rehab. So let's talk about the online aspect. So,
Okay.
first of all, we kind of alluded to, you were a Minecraft fan. I'll say were. I don't know what your gumption is nowadays.
Yeah, you could say were, because I haven't played in a while now.
But it was a big stake in your life. It seems like. But if you look back at your online persona, which we'll get to in a minute here, you did a lot of Minecraft stuff for a while.
Yes, I did. Yeah,
it's a standout program. I mean, it was definitely an oddity to a lot of people when they saw it because of the graphics of it. But it was definitely it was one of the, it wasn't the first kind of open build games, but it definitely was one that brought a completely open, destructible environment to people's minds.
Yeah.
So, first of all, when did you first start playing Minecraft?
I believe it was around 2011, 2012-ish.
Were you in the alpha, the beta, the first release?
I was in the beta, if I remember correctly. It was the beta, 1.7.2, I think it was. Can't remember exactly.
All right.
So it was interesting because I should tell you how I got into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like what? So I knew of it earlier than that because I saw something about it on the news, and I was like, whatever. Yeah, well, who wants to play a game? It's all blocks. That was my first thought. The graphics are garbage. Why would you go
total
back to
8-bit graphic?
Yeah. So I was at work and I saw a friend of mine playing it on his lunch on a computer, and I was like, huh. I looked over and I saw him doing stuff, and my first reaction was exactly what I just, And then I would say it was less than 5 minutes, I looked at what he was doing and I go, man, I want that. And I knew right away I wanted the game. Yeah, it was like fast. It was like I knew exactly what I want. I wanted to play the game. So I went home and bought it.
It has a strange addiction value to it.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree with you. It's a funny thing. So in Minecraft, are you a designer? Are you a tech head? Are you a survivor adventurer? What would you classify yourself as?
Okay, I see. I'm a little bit. Oh God. Okay,
I can't. One of those Pentagon maps to map out the. The specs.
So I like designing in the game quite a bit. Like I love building and making things look as close to reality as possible. Obviously, you're limited by the shapes, right? But I do love to build and make things look really aesthetically pleasing. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I also love the technical side of it, like building machines you can use redstone to power things and make automated different kinds of machines for harvesting things or killing animals. And that was another thing that I really liked on it. So you could say I'm a little bit of the tech head guy and a little bit of the designer. As far as adventure and survivor, the most favorite thing of mine in Minecraft is just head in a direction and keep going. And just see what comes up.
Certainly.
Really awesome.
So you kind of span
a little bit of everything, yeah. If I had to pick one of them, I'd probably go more into the tech. I'd say the tech.
I think I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So, again, you do a lot of other games now, but Minecraft is kind of a roots. And for a lot of people, when they kind of got into doing YouTube or doing streaming, Minecraft was the big thing. And it seems to be... Looking back on your channel, that seems to be kind of in line with you, too.
It was the first thing I ever posted.
So let's talk about that. So when did you start doing YouTube?
March 2012. In fact, on my website, on the channel, it tells you. Yep. So March 2012 was the first time I ever posted anything on the channel.
And the first things were, in fact, Minecraft.
Minecraft, exactly.
So you kind of got into that. And what sparked you to get into YouTube?
I was watching a lot of YouTube. Once I discovered Minecraft, then I was watching people build. I was watching people do and make technical machines and things like that. I think the biggest influence was Ethos Lab, my biggest influence.
Aha, yes.
So I absolutely loved him. I don't watch him anymore, but I made it a point to watch everything he had, and I watched
Every
his
single episode.
Yeah,
Tech,
so
design.
yeah.
Ethan, if you ever see this, I want to have you on the show, just for the record. No, I agree with you. And so you saw these videos and went, fuck, I want to do this.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I saw it and I was like, I can do this. And at the same time, I want to do this. Like, it was great. So good.
Minecraft is really well geared for it, too, because Minecraft is really a build and share. I mean, more so than any other game. You build and you want to share the builds you've created, the contraptions, exactly. The spaces you've built. So I can totally understand that. So to that end, your channel is actually pretty deep. You got well over 350 followers on your YouTube channel. Plus, you also have a Twitch channel, and you're up to how many subs now?
On Twitch?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not subs, followers.
Whatever.
71. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I just broke 70 not too long ago, so it's pretty cool.
So let me ask you this: for the people out there that are trying to get into it or whatever, what have you done right with your channel?
In terms of the YouTube channel, I think what the thing I like most about it is the fact that they give you certain different ways to lay out your channel to present your content to a viewer. And I like the way, I mean, you could pick from different templates that they have. And I like the way the template I picked and the way I have it all set up. But I've got a nice unified design. And then for every series, I have a specific icon for the thumbnails of the videos. So I'm not really a fan of seeing the person's face and then text over top of it. I'd rather there be a unifying, like cover art for a game. You know what I'm saying?
The format and the art.
It's the presentation. It's the presentation that I think I did right. So
right. They always say that you are your own worst critic. So to that end, I gotta ask you, what have you done wrong with your channel?
If I had to be honest, which I will be, it's consistency.
I've kind of given you a lot of crap for that in the past.
Yeah. So there are times, and you're going to see now that I have a whole bunch coming up because I've been streaming and recording at the same time, and I've edited a whole bunch and put them up already. But there are times when I've consistently posted for like 6 months and then stop. 6 months goes by, then start again, 2-3 months, then stop. And that's not really effective. Usually, if you have a viewer, they want to know that you're dependable. They want to know that they can count on you.
The content coming always.
Yeah, exactly. Certainly. Not overdo it like some YouTube, content creators, but still a consistency. And I think that's where I'm working on it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, and I'm as guilty as that as the next guy. Yeah, it's a hard thing because you have a real life, a real job, and whatnot. And you have to fit this hobby in between that. It's going to be difficult. Yeah. So, to that end, for anybody who's getting into YouTube or into Twitch now, give them some tips you can hand off to them.
I would say consistency is the biggest. Make it a habit, make it a ritual. But also a good microphone. I think that's probably the best.
I can agree with that. I have people use some really crappy ones.
Yeah, if you're recording video of a game you're playing and the recording isn't that perfect, people will put up with that more than they will with your voice being really crappy and they can't hear.
Yep, agreed.
So they'll stick around if they can hear you discuss things. So you invest in a good microphone, and then your capture card and all that stuff can come after.
Don't use your laptop mic.
No, yeah, exactly. So if you have like a fan in the background, or if there's a humming or something like that, they'll click away faster than if they see a little bit of blur on screen.
Yep.
In my opinion. So that's what the tip I would give.
All right. So one last topic I want to cover with you, and this has to do with community, because you're actually one of the founding people of Project Singularity.
Yeah.
So to that end, first of all, let's talk about Project Singularity. When did you start Project Singularity?
So I don't have an exact date, but it was about 3 to 3.5 years ago, June, this past June. I think we
Okay.
celebrated our third year this past June, actually.
And the majority of you guys, or if not almost all of you, at least to start with, came from a prior server
That's correct.
that had shut down.
Yeah, there were mainly five of us that formed Project Singularity, and we were all from a previous server called the KirrokCraft server, and it was mainly a Minecraft server.
Mm-hmm.
Cranky is actually in Project Singularity as a member. He is the one who founded KirrokCraft's Minecraft server, or had that going as a server, right? So
Shocks it in the name.
yeah, interestingly,
So
yeah.
what
So
sparked
cool.
you to go with Project Singularity? I mean, you had KirrokCraft. You guys could have moved on and joined another server, or whatever. What made you want to start a community?
So since we, the previous server didn't really, um, it's just everyone kind of grew out of it a bit, I guess you could say. What we did is the five of us, there's five founding members of Project Singularity, had discussions that we wanted to have a community for gaming. So we don't actually have a Minecraft server anymore. Recently, we got rid of it because not many of us are playing Minecraft. But the point was we were forming the community, Project Singularity, around the idea that we just want to game together. So we try to get together and play games, not necessarily Minecraft, but we could play Minecraft. But we get together and play other games. We've done some PUBG, we've done some Rainbow Six, the new Rainbow Six,
Okay.
and stuff like that. So our whole thought process behind it was just to kind of like form a group of a community of people that like to be together and play a game together and have fun together. That's it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the community, just like with the YouTube channel, I'm going to ask you, what have you done right and what have you done wrong with the community?
I think what I've done wrong
You let
is
Ruark in.
he's a founding member. No, that's not what he did wrong. I think what I've done wrong is that I haven't really made them as in the community my number one priority. There are many other things that I'm doing, as you know. So I'm helping with the Bottle Rocket Gaming podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also with well, I'll let people know at the end, but with Hop Along Games. Plus, I want to start posting more stuff on my YouTube channel. Plus, I'm doing Twitch. So I'm finding that I'm spreading myself around, and I'm not placing that importance that maybe I should on Project Singularity.
Fair enough.
But what the good thing is that we're still keeping in contact. We're still communicating. So that's what I would say is actually what I've done that's good. In fact, one of I think if anything, it's pretty much our only rule for the community is being communicative or communication. We value communication over everything. So if a new member comes aboard, we stress to them, look, we're a community. If one of us or three of us can game, we game. But the main thing is if we're not going to be around for a while, if maybe we don't need to know where you're going or what you're doing, but if you know
what's happening.
Yeah, if you know you can't come for a couple of weeks or interact with us a couple of weeks, just shoot off an email saying, "Hey guys, something's going on. I'll be in touch."
Dark,
right?
Be back later.
You got it exactly. So our main goal is communication, and that's what I'm doing right. I'm still communicating with the members, as well as most members and the founders. So
excellent. And the one last thing is what do you have plans for the future? Is there anything that you have in the vision of where Project Singularity is going to go?
This is a really tough question. Mainly because it's not just me. We've kind of developed a method for making decisions between the five of the founding members. So I could present an idea, but I need buy-in from everyone else, and vice versa, right?
Certainly.
So it's not something where I'm the only sole decision maker in it. Where do I see us? I see us, maybe having people, because we actually have people on our website. We have a website where people are asking to join. So we take votes and decide, and we've gained a few new members in that method. And at this point, all I see is that we want to form more of a community of gamers that have fun together. And I think that's all we're just going to keep doing for now.
Okay.
I don't have any specific plans.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Hey, there's always something to look forward to. And these kind of things, if you have a solid community that sticks together, communicates, it's nice because it can just float. And then if for any reason that comes back around to your focus, you can take it and run with it at that time and start building upon it if you want to.
And there's a bunch of the members in Project Singularity that are also in BRG as well. So
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are a very open-minded community.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. I tell you guys, we're gonna go and take a little break here, and when we come back, we're gonna try to see if we can pry a little more off the top and get a little deeper into Kirrok and get to know Kirrok in the real world a little bit, so to speak. So we'll be right back. We'll talk about that. All right, guys, welcome back. We're going to go ahead and dive into a little more of the personal side of our guest here tonight, which is Kirrok. Now, to start us off to have a little fun here, we're going to go ahead and hit you up, Kirrok, with some rapid-fire questions. I'm going to give you 30 seconds from the time I say the first question to answer 10 questions for me. All right?
Okay.
So 30 seconds, 10 questions. Easy peasy, not a problem. Shouldn't be an issue at all. Are you ready?
Yeah, go.
All right. So, question number 1. What's your shoe size?
9.5.
That guy got tiny feet. Pet peeve.
Damn it. Somebody putting the toilet paper going the other way instead of the right way, which is over and down.
Fair enough. Last time you lied. Last time you told a lie. And I'm sorry.
Jeez. This is great. It's like a talk show game.
Hey, we got 3 questions in ya. Suicide, pet peeve, and last you told a lie, you couldn't. You.
Okay.
In all fairness, you're Canadian. You're Canadian. So I will accept the fact that maybe you have a hard time remembering the last time was you lied.
I don't remember.
Oh, Kirrok, I wish I was as honest as you are. All right. Hopefully we'll do better in the future. It's only 10 questions, Gary. You had 3 seconds per question. Come on now. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive into a little more of the personal side of things here. Now, these are meant to be more of a kind of a deep dive into the real you, as opposed to Kirrok Persona Online. So, just for reference point, who are you? Because everybody knows you as Kirrok Online, but are you somebody else, or are you just Kirrok in life?
I'm close to being Kirrok in life. Like I just like being me.
If somebody came across you on the street and yelled Kirrok, you'd respond, and they would experience the same kind of personality, same kind of person.
Yeah,
for the most part, it's not just a facade.
No.
Fair enough.
So one of the things I decided was I'm going to be me if I'm going to be putting myself online. It's just who I am. So I can't.
Fair enough.
Put on an
ladies, act. If you want a true man, this is it right here.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Again, get a little more personal aspect about this. First of all, what is it that turns you on, like creatively, spiritually, or emotionally? What really drives the passion with you?
I think when it comes to like creatively and stuff, like my background is graphic design.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually went to college, studied packaging graphic design. So I'm a very creative person. I like to draw. I like to paint. I like to do things with my hands. That over the years has translated into more of a technical person because I like logic and I like systematic things.
Certainly.
But both of them, whether it's something that I'm doing creatively, like drawing on a canvas or an art book, or if I'm building a computer, let's say, are things that I do with my hands, things that I immediately get gratification, and they
Do you
kind of put
actually
me in
do
that.
like hand sketch art?
It's been years. It's actually at a point where I haven't done it in so long. I'm scared to try again, feeling like I might have lost it. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. No, I can feel you.
Yeah. So what really takes my time mostly is like building machines or things like that, computers and stuff. And I really like that too. It puts me in that zone. And I love the journey to that end. But once it ends, once the computer's built or once that drawing is completed, it's like, well, done with that. What's next? I want to make another one. I want to build another one. It's the trip to the end that's the best
So
part.
you enjoy the journey, not necessarily the destination.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So another good question for you, which is, well, what is the most important day in your life? What's that standout moment that really you look
So
back on?
this is a tough one because I don't think there's any one particular day that stands out above all the rest. I think it's a series of um, days that are that stand out, and not necessarily all good. Some are good, some are negative.
Okay.
So an example would be I recall, and this is why I like fishing so much. I recall I was probably 10 years old, maybe. It had to be around 10 years old. And fishing with like a Canadian Tire. If you don't know what Canadian Tire is, it's a popular store up here that does all automotive stuff. And it was a Canadian Tire rod. They sell fishing gear as well and so on. And I was
Okay.
fishing off a shore up at the cottage, and I caught myself a huge bass. Now I don't recall the size of the bass. All I remember is it was a massive bass. And back then I was a little kid, so it could
Compared
have
to it,
been
yeah, when you're a kid,
exactly.
everything seems huge.
Exactly. But I can remember that feeling of capturing that and just like arms up cheering. I yelled when I caught that thing, and there were fishermen in the boat going, "Huh?" You know, it was pretty cool. So that's
Nice.
an example of a positive one that left an impression on me, which is why now I really love to go out fishing. Usually, I go with my buddy once a year. We do a week trip, and we spend. We have our boat. We go with a boat and so on. So it's pretty cool. And an example of a bad or negative one, but unavoidable. It's part of life. Is
Hmm.
like a few years back, my aunt in Italy passed away, and it was my mom's sister, and it was a big impact because we used to go up to the cottage with them, her
Hmm.
and her husband, and it really hit me hard, especially my mom. But so when you ask the question, what is the most important day? They're all big things like that are important because they shape me over
Fair
time.
enough.
You know what I mean?
And
Yeah.
it really is. You are shaped by both the good imprints and the bad imprints.
Yeah.
And really, I wouldn't go so far as to say that there are bad things that happen, but they don't necessarily have to be a bad influence or a bad
Yes.
impression. But they can be a supportive one to help shape you and who you are. So
Yeah.
I can understand that. So changing gears here, when it comes to the
Yeah.
aspect of you,
Hmm.
tell me something about you in terms of something that you are absolutely OCD about.
Um, I'm pretty OCD about. Oh, jeez. Everything has to work right especially if I planned it out. So I need the software that records video to work correctly. I need the software that converts the video so I can edit it correctly. I need the capture card to work. So I'm pretty OCD about a systematic setting a system.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually put together a database, not a spreadsheet, a database that every step of the way through, say, a recording I do for YouTube, and then I would put in the title of the episode I'm putting, and then I would move it to the next stage because there was a point at which I had many videos going on, and I had to keep track of them somehow. So I'm really OCD in that sense. But then again, if I build a PC, I'm OCD about picking good quality parts. I'm OCD about picking all these parts and putting them together and putting them in together with care and making sure everything works. But
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't care less of how it looks inside. I just throw all the cables in and close it up. So it's a little weird, you know what I mean? I have that OCD part of it, but then I couldn't care less because I know it's perfectly fine and working good.
There is a fuck it threshold even with
There
the
is.
OCD.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, fair enough. So let me ask you this: what are you good at? What are you like? Yes, I got this down.
Um, so see, this is the thing. I'm not one to toot my own horn,
I only do that if I've eaten cabbage.
but I do toot my own horn. Now, I'm sure everybody does, but I don't like tooting my own horn publicly. So
This is just between you and me.
okay. So what I do for work professionally, which I don't discuss, we'll get to that, I guess. I believe I do it, and there are situations I do it well, and there are situations where I kind of look back at what I've accomplished and I go, man, I did that right, and I did that really, really good, right? But I can't. It could be. I can't talk about it. That's the problem.
All that matters is you do your job and you do it well.
Yes.
So what do you do
the
badly?
thing is, but what I don't like is to go out and say to people, "Oh, look, I did that," or "I did this." I like it for it to speak for itself.
I understand, but a lot of people
then
don't.
People can make their own
A lot
judgment.
of people don't, and
Right.
quite frankly, if somebody does brag, I question a little bit. So this is.
So you asked me. Yeah.
This is easier. What do you do badly?
Sometimes this is probably my biggest bad thing is that I can't make up my mind.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, it's strange because I can usually if I decide, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, if I plan it out or whatever it might be, like for instance, I know I wanted to buy a new CPU for the computer I'm using now, and I did that, and I put it in, and I did it methodically, and so I'm good at that, but at the same time, sometimes I just can't decide. So I'll be sitting on a computer looking at computer parts and going, should I get this one or should I get that one or should I get this one? But this one has this advantage and that has that advantage. So yeah, but I would say my biggest thing is that there are times when I miss good opportunities because I can't make up my mind. So I can identify that.
Fair enough.
I gotta work on it, you know.
So what do you do when you're not gaming?
When I'm not gaming, I'll I was gonna say I'll play video games. I actually started reading again, which is cool.
Dead Tree?
Like no e-book or e-reader.
But actual reading text.
Yes, I did use Dead Tree books about a year ago. I actually started and finished the whole Harry Potter's series, which was awesome.
Good series.
And now I'm reading a series called and this is the weird thing. Sometimes I'll read for 6 months and then stop. A year and a half goes by, pick it up again and start reading again. And the one I'm reading now is called The Dragon Knight. There are 9 books in the series. I just finished the 5th. So reading is one of those things. I'll watch a lot of videos online if I'm not gaming. That's probably the biggest thing in the most
bane of the YouTube rat hole.
Yeah. And I'll watch video game videos and I'll watch computer videos like parts and things like that because I really like the technology stuff, right? So,
all right.
And aside from that, it's not all just that. We'll go camping and we'll go fishing, usually at least one trip each a year. Back in the day, we used to go like every long weekend, which was amazing. So, but everyone's got a life now, family, children, you know.
Fair enough. So looking back on your life, and it's really kind of an arbitrary point you'd pick. How have you changed? Where do you see kind of we talk about some things that are kind of pivotal in your life that really have shaped you, but can you look back at your life, do you see some inconsistency where you were one way at one time and very different now?
I would say I'm still the same person. Like the root me hasn't changed.
The root you hasn't changed.
Yeah, so, I mean, I always see the good in people before I see the bad. I let them break themselves down. Do you know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this then. What is a side of you that the public has never seen?
they've never really seen me in a professional sense because of the nature of what I do, and I can't really say much about it. But at the same time, they've never seen, I think the bigger thing is they've never seen they've seen the creative side of me through my art that I've created for actually the BRG podcast, not mine, but it was made by someone else and I modified it to fit, plus my art for my channel. But they've never seen me or my drawings or stuff, because I have stuff from back in the 90s that I did that when I look at it, actually kind of scares me. I was like, oh my God, I did that. Like, I was never a life drawer, meaning I couldn't draw people or animals. I was what you would refer to as a cold drawer. So I can draw technical schematics. I could draw a PS4 broken apart in pieces, and it would look real. Like, it would look really real. So that's the kind of stuff I was good at back then.
Interesting. Okay. So what is the biggest risk you've ever taken?
Ooh, good question. I think the biggest one was it wasn't so much a risk, but it was more of a feeling of that uncertainty. But I still did it anyways, and that was training through work, where I honestly didn't know if I could make it, because in what I do, there's actually training, which is like, well, they've changed it quite a bit lately, but there's training involved, and then there's exams and things like that. And I just didn't think I had what it took to make it. And my brother was a big part of pushing and saying, no, you got this. Don't worry, you're good. You can do it. And it really helped me a lot. And so I went ahead and did it anyways, and I did it, and I got it, like what I wanted. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I can't be specific in what it is, but I guess the kind of the payoff was when I got back, because I had to go in the U.S. to do this. This was like over a decade ago. When I got back and I let the people who sent me know that I passed, even though I passed by a smidgen, they were like, oh, you're the first in Canada. And I was like, what? And I couldn't believe it. So, yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah, so I don't know if that helps answer the question, because I haven't been specific as to what it is.
No,
but it was work related.
You've made the step, the risk to actually try, self betterment.
Yeah.
So I get you on that front. Let me ask this: what is one unknown thing about you that people would find interesting?
So I actually did mention this earlier in the episode, and that is I lived in Italy. I actually lived in Italy for 2 years. I was around 13, 14. Went to school, lived there. I still have family there. And actually, in the 2 years that I lived there, I pretty much toured all over Italy. So I've been like to Milan, Venice, Rome, Naples, Bari.
Do you speak Italian?
Yeah, so I can speak the language, read it, and write it.
Okay, so you are bilingual in that sense.
Yeah.
And are you, forgive me personal, but are you second generation, first generation, third generation?
I would say first. My parents were both born in Italy, but I was born in Toronto.
Okay. So
right,
you're first gen outside of it.
You got it, yeah.
Gotcha. Fascinating. Yeah. That is interesting. You done very well in that. All right, so last question on this topic is going to be, where do you think you'll be in 25 years?
So it's interesting because I never really sit down and think, especially that far ahead.
It's a good chunk of time.
It's a good chunk of time. So it has crossed my mind, though, not too long ago, because now, getting older and so on. And I put a little bit of thought into, nothing etched in stone, potentially having a place up north, like a cottage, where I could rent it out for people to come up and run fishing excursions and things like that. That could be a future. More so for the fact that it would be just something I love and fun, and always be out in the nature and the wild. As long as I can get internet, we're good.
But the most important thing is high-speed internet.
It's like, look at the mountains and the lake and the water. No internet? Forget it. We're out of here.
I'm with you on that. I live up in the freaking boonies, and I should have high-speed internet, even though Comcast sucks right now. But I digress. All right. I appreciate letting us kind of dive a little deeper into you as a person here, and I really appreciate that. So to kind of close things out here, I want to do another speed round of questions. Now, I'm going to be a little more loose leaf here and give you a chance to be give you extra time to actually get through the questions.
I'll do what I can do quick. Okay, I got you.
All right, so are you ready for this?
Let's do it. All
right, so this time I'll get through all 10 questions. We'll see how long it takes to get through the 10 questions, all right?
Oh, God, okay.
Are you ready?
An hour? Yeah, okay.
All right.
Go.
Here we go. How do you feel about the colorization of old black and white films?
I think it's great.
When the aliens land on Earth, will you be the first person they talk to? Why will you be the first person?
Oh, why will they be the first person I talk to?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know. I have a good-natured soul.
You're the best example of humans we can get. If you could be any animal, what animal would it be?
Osprey.
A what?
Osprey. It's a hawk type variant.
Yep, it is. All right.
Catches fish.
If someone wrote a biography about you, what do you think the title should be?
Oh, man. Canadian. Sorry, I don't know. Canadian says it all. Done.
What is the meaning of life?
Helping others.
Ooh. Are eyebrows considered facial hair?
Yes.
Is there a time limit on a fortune cookie's prediction?
No.
Can crop circles be square?
Yes.
Can a short person talk down to a tall person?
Absolutely.
Do Jewish vampires avoid crosses or Stars of David?
What? What the hell was that?
Do Jewish vampires avoid crosses or Stars of David?
Crosses.
Time!
Okay.
Minute 37.
Oh, God.
So we're going to put that on the board. That is going to be the new standard for which everybody has to achieve now. All the interviews going forward.
That was a lot more fun. That was good.
We're gonna get a little bored up, like a la Top Gear style. We're just have how long does it take somebody to do a lap around our questions?
That was excellent.
Kirrok, my friend, thank you so very much for spending the evening with me, talking about you, getting to know you a little better. I really appreciate it, and please tell us a little bit about where people can find you and what you're up to.
Mainly right now, the main place I'm on is Twitch. So it's Twitch. What is it? Twitch.tv/KirrokCraft. That is the URL where you'll find my channel. You can follow. If you really like, you can subscribe. But also my YouTube channel is youtube.com/KirrokCraft. There you'll see videos that I've done in the past. Most of the videos I've done in the past, but recently I'm starting to put some of the stuff I do on Twitch on YouTube as well. So that's pretty cool. And then there's also Twitter, which is Twitter/KirrokCraft. Or
not that you talk about all that much, but
no, I only use it to like announce stuff. That's
I was gonna say at the very least, it keeps people in the loop on what's happening.
Right.
So, and of course, we talked about project.
Oh yes, so Project Singularity. The website, there's the website I had mentioned earlier is project-singularity.com. There you can see what we're about. The very first page kind of gives you a quick summary of what we're about. There's a members page where you can see everyone who is part of Project Singularity. There's actually links that lead you to their channels on YouTube as well as their live streams if they're doing Twitch live streams. And there's another link that actually shows you what games we play as a community.
Gotcha. Now you do contribute in two other fronts. The first one is Hop Along.
Oh, yes, I did briefly mention. So I do a podcast with two real life friends, meaning I know them from work. Not that you're not a real life friend.
I'm a
uh,
figment of my own imagination.
no. Oh, man, we got to do this in a room together sometime.
Someday.
So Hop Along Games is basically it's a podcast about games, but we are in a little bit of a casual setting. So we call it couch co-op,
Mhm.
and we sit on a couch most of the times.
I
The
like
next couple episodes you'll see won't be on a couch, but in front of a green screen. So there's a lot of fun to be had there. And
Okay.
we talk about games. We just talk about topics, random topics. And what we're hoping is that the community that we start to develop will give us topics. We've come up with a few and talked about them for video games, and they've turned out really good. The shows have been awesome. So I'm happy
I've
with them.
enjoyed them so far. I'm looking forward to the new ones coming out.
Yeah,
And there is one other show that you contribute to.
Bottle Rocket Gaming.
Yes, Kirok.
The Bottle Rocket Gaming podcast. That is another show I contribute to. I am a co-host on that show, with Warped being a co-host as well. It's an awesome show. Meaning, I have a lot of fun when we're on it, and we often get thank you to you, Warped. Guests come on, and we have great conversations about topics in gaming, news, that current events in gaming, as well as other things too. We don't just center around only gaming. We do talk a little bit about science and technology and media, but our main focus is gaming, and it's great.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Well, again, man, thank you so very much. And again, 1,000 times over, thanks for being a Game Pig. Thanks for joining us to talk about
Anytime.
you a little more. And I do appreciate it. And guys, if you want to know more about Kirok, definitely make sure you follow up and catch him on Twitch, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Project Singularity. Make sure you check out Hop Along Game. Make sure you check out the Bottle Rock Gaming podcast. It's on the same channel this one's on. You might as well just go ahead and click on one of the episodes, check it out. Of course, if you also want to keep connected to Bottle Rocking in general, please make sure you do stop by our myriad of connections. We do have a website, which is bottlerocketgaming.com, where we have kind of our main site, primarily used for like events and so on. But we also have a YouTube channel, obviously, because here you are. So you're welcome to subscribe to the podcast, or to the channel, so you can get the podcast and the shows like this. We have more shows coming along the way as well. We do also have a Twitch channel, so you want to check out things in terms of live streaming gaming content. Definitely check out our Bottle Rock Gaming Twitch channel, where we stream from different people 5 days a week, plus we host a bunch of people from the good Bottle Rock Gaming community. We also do a lot of events, such as free view events, where we play free-to-play games for a month and then review them and so on. So we do a lot of activity, a lot of stuff. We are a community, and within our community, there are other communities, such as Project Singularity people, or Bridge Street Buying Company, and so on. So I definitely encourage you to head over there and check us out. We do have a Patreon page as well, so if you're into donations, we certainly do appreciate it. All the money that goes into the donation goes back into the community in the form of helping people out, buying games for people who don't have them so they can play with us, doing giveaways, etc. So definitely encourage you to do that if you're into that sort of thing. Anyways, guys, it has been a little bit long, but a really fun night. Get a chance to know Kirok a lot better than I've ever known before. It's always been a real treat, so I appreciate it. We are going to try to do this type of show at least once a month, and we'll try to get people lined up. I'm going to start with hitting up a lot of people in the BRG community, but I will try to tag people outside of the community to bring in here and work our way up to the big names like Etho.
Etho, yeah.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much. We do appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Shut up and sit down.